Over in Ukraine, fresh allegations of civilian killings by Moscow spark international condemnation. Bodies were found in towns near the capital after Russian forces withdrew last week. Ukrainian officials are gathering evidence for probes into alleged war crimes. Our Kim Sung-min is standing by on the line with the latest. Sung-min, do fill us in.
Daniel, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy accused Russia of massacre, saying his country will conduct an investigation into alleged civilian killings by Russian troops. This follows new reports of civilian executions in Bucha, a suburb northeast of Kyiv, with images of hundreds of dead bodies on the streets, as well as mass graves, triggering new international condemnation of Russia and calls for additional sanctions and probes. Ukraine says a task force has found 410 civilian bodies, some with their hands bound, in what Bucha's mayor said could only be described as genocide. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said the U.S. is considering additional sanctions, a move echoed by other countries. The European Union said it is mulling ways to put additional sanctions on Russia to hold the country accountable for what appears to be war crimes. French President Emmanuel Macron has also called for sanctions on Russian oil and coal. Ukrainian officials have asked the International Criminal Court to visit Bucha to see the mass graves so that experts can obtain evidence of possible war crimes.
These are ordinary racist/fascists, and they are inhuman. They committed crimes against civilians, raped, killed, shot them in the back of the head. The whole world needs to know about this.
Russia has requested a meeting of the UN Security Council on Monday, claiming provocation by Ukrainian extremists in Bucha. Earlier on Sunday, the Kremlin dismissed the allegations, saying no resident of Bucha suffered violence at the hands of Russian troops.
Well, some experts believe Russia's withdrawal from towns near the capital was to refocus attacks in other parts of the country, and also what's happening on the ground and any progress in diplomatic efforts.
Daniel, Ukraine's forces have retaken the Kyiv region as the Kremlin seemingly refocuses its forces to eastern and southern parts of Ukraine. Britain's defense ministry said on Monday that Russian troops are continuing to consolidate and reorganize as they refocus their offensive into the Donbas region. Ukraine's hard-hit port city, Mariupol, where as many as 100,000 people are known to be trapped, continues to see intense fighting. Fortunately, efforts to evacuate civilians in Mariupol are set to resume, with 15 buses en route to the city. That's according to the Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister Irina Vereshchuk. According to UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, 1,417 Ukrainian civilians have been killed so far since Russia's invasion, and 2,038 have been injured. But peace efforts are continuing. Ukraine and Russia are scheduled to meet for another round of talks on Monday via video conference. Hopes had been growing for the leaders of the two countries to meet, but Russia shut down that idea on Sunday, saying there's not been enough progress yet in the peace talks. The two sides have been holding several rounds of talks since Russia's invasion began on February 24th, but no real breakthrough has been made so far. That's all I have for now. Back to you, Daniel.
All right, Sung-min, thank you for those updates. We appreciate it.